Lucky Lou Lonigan was the worst fielder ever, and that was his saving grace. He was so wretched fans came in droves. In the lineup, he always had a place. He played for the Beanville Bats, where bat fans wore Lucky Lou hats. That's not bats as in balls and bats, but bats as in flying rats. Beanville had a center fielder, though, the greatest of 'em all. Screamin' Subiobaku had rocket feet and could leap any wall. They couldn't put Lou in right. That was the home of Big Tater. Big Tater Yang had a shotgun arm, but was slower than a busted elevator. He swung big lumber at the plate, then lumbered to the field, alas. How that home crowd cringed when Tater took to the grass. Together they made the most entertaining outfield the world had ever seen. The fans went for snacks when Beanville was up. But it was magic time when they hit the green. At the plate, Lou played with savvy and skill, but for a swell bunt nobody swoons. No, it was Lou's larks in the field that turned quiet folk into howling loons. Every single play a disaster waiting. Batters who hit his way started celebrating. Sue covered more field than a retractable dome, but too far from Tater, she never could roam. A shallow pop to Lou made a batter sing. It was like Lou's glove had some hidden spring. Line drives would leave Lou lying on his belly. Was his glove slick coated with petroleum jelly? But mostly what made folks hide their eyes was when Lou looked up at lofty pop flies. He would circle and circle, seeking some perfect spot to tread. When at last that sphere returned to earth, it would land right on Lou's head. Finally, Lou threw his glove in the trash without recrimination, remorse, or regret. After that, he grabbed his hat when a ball came his way and waved it like a butterfly net. He'd catch a few, too, maybe one of every four, a higher percentage than he'd ever fielded before. And for those pop flies, he finally got wise and took his batting helmet to the field. He'd stand under those descending balls on his pate, a polypropylene shield. If a ball knocked his noggin, it would bounce back in the air. And then he'd brandish his cap, that intrusive missile to snare. Why, Lou became so good at the angles, he could bounce most flies to Sue. Give Sue an extra few seconds, and she always knew what to do. Whenever the bats were ahead in the score, into the stands, Lou might bounce a ball. He was kind-hearted like that, and he knew it was more fun for all. So how did Lou get the nickname Lucky? A scattershot of scornful irony? No. It was a happy reminder of the greatest play the world ever did see. One day Lou was circling, trying to spy a pop fly overhead. He suddenly tripped over his own feet and went down like falling into bed. As he lay there stunned, the ball went splunk. As usual, avoiding the ground. But this time it didn't find his head. It landed square on his buttock mound. In later years, the media he'd tease, saying he gave his cheeks a quick squeeze. Maybe that's true, or maybe not, but that ball stayed glued right to that spot. The batter was out. Lou had saved the day. Shoulder high, his team carried him away. And today, the only thing Lou fields are queries. He's happy to, for with that catch, the Bats won the series.